is Jenna and today I'm here with a very long overdue book haul. This year I decided to take part in the Project 5, which is basically you have to read 5 books before you're allowed to buy a book, and I have been going pretty well with that, mostly, but I have slipped a couple of times, which is, you know, it just sometimes you just want to buy a book. It happens, you can't help it, it's bad. I also had to get a bunch of books for university and I joined a book club this year, which meant I had to buy a lot of books for the book club. I haven't done a book haul since just after Christmas, and that is because I was planning on only, of course, buying 1 or 2 books a month with the Project 5 because I didn't think I'd be able to read a ridiculous amount of books in a month. So I have accumulated 19 books to show you guys today. They range from YA Circle Book Club books to books that I have received from publishers or publisher slash in giveaways, and also books that I have actually bought for myself, which that pile is actually the largest pile, which is kind of a little bit sad, but what are you gonna do? I love books. Since there are 19 books to show you, I'm not going to tell you heaps about what all of these books are about, and I'm just going to jump right in. Some of the books that you are going to see are books that you have probably seen in previous wrap-up, TBR, or review videos, so I apologize for that, but some of them should be pretty new, so I don't know what happens on this channel anymore. So I'm going to start off with the YA Circle Book Club's books of the month from February all the way up until June, which is the month we're about to go in. I joined this book club this year. I'm having the best time in it. It is so much fun. So I have like 6 books or something to show you from them. So the first one I have to show you is The One Memory of Flora Banks by Emily Bart. This one was the February book of the month. It is about a girl named Flora Banks who has amnesia sort of thing, so she doesn't remember anything apart from the last couple of hours, and basically one day she kisses this boy and she's able to remember that for longer than the 3 hours, and so what follows is sort of her journey to figure out why she has this amnesia and why this is the one memory that she can remember. I have read this one. I did not particularly enjoy it, and you can check out my February wrap up to find out why. Next up we have Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This one was the March book of the month and I adored this book. It was so good. So basically this one is about these 2 girls who are really obsessed and want to participate in Caraval, which is basically like a carnival, but it is audience participation carnival. So you sort of go to a place for 5 days and the winner of the carnival gets all these exciting things happen to them. So while at Caraval, Scarlett finds out that her sister Tella is the prize for this year's Caraval, so she has to team up with this guy called Julian in order to win the game and to find her sister. And it was just a really fast-paced action novel. I really enjoyed it and I cannot wait for the sequel. Next up, History Is All You Left Me by Adam Silvera. This one was our April book of the month. I did enjoy this one. I thought it had a very good premise. I'm not, biggest fan of contemporaries, but I still really enjoyed this one. This one is about a boy whose ex-boyfriend dies, and this boy meets ex-boyfriend's current boyfriend at time of death, and they sort of help each other to move on and to get past their grief. It was really good. I really enjoyed it, and now I really want to read more of Adam's books, which is crazy because I really don't like contemporaries very much. Next up we have Begin and Begin, a #LoveOzYA anthology edited by Danielle Bings and contributed by a lot of lovely authors. This one was the May Sorry, I'm getting so confused with my months. So it was the May book of the month, and I haven't actually finished this one yet because it is just full of short stories. So I've had other things to read, so I've just kind of been going in every now and then and reading a short story when I've had time. I'm enjoying it so far. There are stories that I like more than others, stories that I really just don't like at all. It's full of contemporaries though, so I was never gonna be like the biggest fan of this book, but I am enjoying it, and it is sort of the first anthology book I've ever read, which is really strange. I'm not used to it. But yeah, I will let you guys know more about what I think about this one when I'm, done with it. And the last YA circuit book I have to show you guys is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ardier. This one is the June book of the month, so I haven't started reading it yet. I'll be reading it very, very soon. This one is a very loose retelling of Mulan, but set in Japan instead of China, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this one is a retelling of Mulan, and I am really, really super excited about it. I absolutely adore retellings, and this one sounds amazing. It's about a girl named Mariko who, on her way to meet her betrothed, her convoy is ambushed by this thing called the Black Clan. She is the only survivor of the attack, and she swears revenge on those who attacked her and the people in her convoy. And basically, she disguises herself as a peasant boy and she joins up, and what follows is sort of her becoming this deadly weapon and learning how to fight and being, you know, a man, and it just gives me such Mulan. I'm gonna be like singing I'll Make a Man Out of You the entire time reading this book. So I'm super, super excited to read this one. I cannot wait to give it a go. So that's all of the books that I got in relation to the YA circle, or at least all the ones that I bought because they're the book club's books of the month. Then I have 3 books, one of which I got from a publisher, and the 2 others I got at giveaways actually during the YA circle meetings. So the first book should come as no surprise to anyone. That is Dracora by Lynette Noni. I was sent this one by Pantera Press because I was a runner-up in their Chosen One competition. Obviously I've read this book. Obviously I love the book. I have 2 reviews up on this one. I have a spoiler-free review and a spoilery book talk, both of which I will leave linked in the description box below if you want to check them out and find out what I thought of this amazing, amazing novel, which you all should read. Then at one of the YA circle meetings, I received a copy of Frostblood by Eli Blake. I don't know a lot about what this book is about, but I know that it was on my most anticipated books of the year for this year. But yeah, I don't know what it's about really. Okay, so it looks like there's this girl named Ruby who is a Frostblood, and it is like banned to be Frostbloods basically. They're being hunted, so it's kind of about her seeking revenge on these people who are hunting down her people and that sort of thing. It sounds good. It sounds like a good story, and I'm really, really excited to get to read it. I also picked up Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett at one of the YA circle meetings. This one is a contemporary, and I didn't know a lot about it going in, but what I've sort of gathered is it's about this girl named Bailey who moves to live with her dad, and she finds out that her online crush actually now lives in the town where she is living. And so it's sort of about her trying to find out who her crush is, but also she is sort of faced with this real life crush, and it just kind of gets all a little bit muddled, and it's kind of a, you know, you have to try and figure out who is Alex and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm keen to read it eventually once I get around to it. I'm not in the mood for contemporaries at the moment, but all I seem to have are contemporaries. I also had to buy 4 books for university, most of which I have already read. Well, actually 2 of them I've read, 2 of them I'm currently reading. The first one is Bet Me by Jennifer Crusie. This one is a romance novel, and it follows a character by the name of Min. She needs a date to her sister's wedding, and she finds out this guy called Cal has made a bet about her, and so the 2 of them kind of meet and kind of are using each other for their own means, and yada yada, romance ensues, you know, the usual. It's a romance novel, it's what they do. I also got the book Grass by Sherry S. Tepper. I'm currently reading this one at the moment, and I don't know what's going on. I really, really don't. All I've gathered from this one is that it is a science fiction novel where humanity has spread out across the stars because they have overpopulated Earth, which, you know, is a thing that is definitely gonna happen one day. But yeah, so they've overpopulated Earth, they've spread out across the stars, and we follow this family who moves as ambassadors to this planet called Grass. Grass is covered in, you know, grass, which you would expect, but they are very secretive and they don't really let outsiders in. But these outsiders have come because there is a plague currently going around the universe that is wiping out all humanity, all life signs everywhere. But someone went to Grass with this disease and came back from Grass without it. So they think that the cure is on this planet, and that's why these characters are there. But honestly, I don't get it. I'm like 120 pages in and I'm not seeing it. I don't know how to feel about this book at all. I also picked up 2 textbooks, and that is the British Literature, a Historical Overview Volume A and Volume B by Joseph Black and a bunch of other people. Basically, these books just follow the literary overview from the medieval period all the way up until like the 21st century, I believe. So it just kind of follows the literary and historical events that occurred in those time periods. It's a really interesting read, and I am enjoying it, but also it's a textbook and I never would have read it otherwise. Now I get up to the books that I have bought myself just for pleasure. There are a lot of them, so let's get started. First up, we have Wayfarer by Alexander Bracken. This is the second and final book in the Passenger duology. I read Passenger last year and absolutely loved it, and then I read this book earlier this year and loved it. It was so good, guys. It was so good. Like, if you haven't read the Passenger duology yet, read it. It's not really going to tell you much about what this one is about, obviously, because it is a sequel, but basically the first book followed Etta Spencer, who at her violin debut gets pulled back in time, and she meets Nicholas Carter, and you know, they go on this treasure hunt basically to find this thing that this guy wants, and yeah, you know, fun things happen from there, and it's just full of time travel and adventure and really swoon-worthy, guys, and it's just a really good read, and you all should read it. I then picked up Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. This one is a science fiction novel that has, I believe, 2 races and things happen between them. I don't know a lot about it. Honestly, I bought it because I was a fan of Veronica Roth's Divergent trilogy up to and not really including the final book. I still haven't read this one yet because I'm really hesitant to do so because of all the controversy, but also because of the fact that apparently it literally changes from first person to third person point of view every chapter, and I'm just not about that. My friend started reading it and she's like, yeah, nah, I wasn't getting into it, and I kind of went, you know what, I have other books to read. So I'll read it eventually, but I'm actually thinking I might wait until next year when the sequel/finale is out, just so I can kind of binge binge read them and then have it all over and done with. I then picked up Hunter by Megan Spooner. This book is a Beauty and the Beast retelling and it follows a character by the name of Yiva. Yiva's father goes missing, so Yiva heads out into the woods and starts hunting the one creature that her father was absolutely obsessed with before his disappearance, the Beast. She ends up finding the Beast's castle slash lair sort of place, and obviously the two of them, I'm assuming, form a sort of romance because, you know, it's Beauty and the Beast, but it's also a retelling, so I'm really curious to see sort of how that changes the way and the story that we know. And I'm obsessed with Beauty and the Beast this year because of the new movie, so I cannot believe I haven't read this book yet. I'm so excited for it. I then picked up A Court of Wings and Maroon by Sarah J Maas. Obviously, this is the third and technically final book in the ACOTAR series. Although Sarah has announced that she will be releasing more books in this world, this story wrapped up Reese, Feyre, and Tamlin's story, which was really bittersweet and so sad because I absolutely adore those characters. But this book was so... I really need to remember to turn that thing off before I start filming. This book was so incredible. I loved it so much. I've done a full book review of this one, which I will leave linked in the description box below if you want to find out more of my full thoughts on it. I then picked up Simon and the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. This one is one that has been talked about a lot at my book club, and everyone there says that it's amazing and that I have to read it. So when I saw it at the shop, so I went, you know what? Fine, I will buy it. Plus, I heard that they're making a movie and Nick Robinson's starring in it, and I love myself some Nick Robinson, so I had absolutely no problem in picking this one up. So from what I've gathered about the plot of this book, basically it follows a boy named Simon who is emailing with his crush, and then someone finds out and starts blackmailing him because Simon is gay and doesn't sort of want to be outed. So this guy is blackmailing Simon to like set him up with his best friend or something along those lines. I know there's blackmail involved, I know there's email involved, and I know that it involves Simon not wanting to be outed. And yeah, it just sounds like a really good book. Everyone says it's amazing and I cannot wait to get started. I also picked up Spellcaster by Claudia Gray, and honestly, I don't know a thing about this book. Basically, I was in the bookstore and I was just kind of browsing. I had a gift card and I wanted to use it, and I kind of just was like, I don't know what to buy. Do I buy a book from a series that I've already started? Do I buy the first book in a new series? I don't know. Found this one. It sounded really cool. Well, basically the cover just looked awesome, and then I didn't really read the back. I basically just went, Spellcaster, cover, sure, why not? Looks fine to me. From what I can tell though, this book follows a girl named Nadia, and she has descended from witches, and she moves to a new town where she finds that a spell has been cast over it and everyone in the town is suffering from an illness. That's pretty much all I know about this book, but I'm still super excited to get to read it at some point. I don't think I've ever actually read a witch story before, so I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. And honestly, I am ready for some fantasy reads after the ridiculous amount of contemporaries and uni books that I've had to read recently. And the final book that I picked up is Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. This is the second book in the Dark Artifices series, and I have not read Lady Midnight, so I have no idea what this book is about. All I know is I only wanted to buy it as soon as it came out because I wanted the big size with like this spine, because I know that these books are going to sell out and they're going to have to do a reprint, and when they reprint they're going to change the cover size and change everything, and I'm not about that life. Everything needs to match. So I bought this one straight away, but I have no plans to read it anytime soon because, you know, should probably read Lady Midnight first, maybe. I don't know, sounds like a good idea. And also maybe read The Infernal Devices because guess who still hasn't read that series yet? So there you go, those are the 19 books that I've picked up over the past 6-ish months. Now, my guess is the same thing is gonna happen in the next 6 months, so you probably aren't gonna see another book haul from me until around about December, unless I break like my book buying ban and I just go out and just go, you know what, screw it. I just wanna buy like a lot of books, and who knows, that might happen, that might not happen. Let me know in the comment section below if you have read any of these books at all. I would absolutely love to know what you think. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random, bye.